Hello and hi there. Thank you for joining me again in this series of workshops on topics that are designed to affect you, the listener. Today I want to talk about self-confidence. A lot of people often ask me, Ingrid, how come you have all this confidence? And I want to get where you are. The truth is, I didn't know that I had arrived because learning, as everyone knows, is a continuous process, especially in this earthly realm. Today, however, I want to talk about the elements that help me become the person that I am or the person that I'm growing towards becoming because I'm still evolving. All of us are still evolving. One of the things that I had a discussion with my coworker about was listening, the aspect of listening. A lot of people think they have arrived, but you know they have not because they cannot listen. They simply cannot listen to you. When you're talking, you're being interrupted constantly, or you find yourself not being able to get out your points or get across what you want to say because the other person is focused on talking. They're not active listeners. Listening is key. It's not only key to helping develop you as a person, but it's also key in understanding when you have arrived at a certain destination or a point in your earthly and spiritual journey. One of the elements of listening requires you to understand that you have to learn to listen. What does that look like? It means that regardless of how many things you have going on in your mind or how many things you want to express, that you have to pause and understand that it's not all about you. You see, a lot of times when people don't listen is because ego is involved. And if you are all about you wanting to get your point across, wanting to be heard, wanting the other person to acknowledge that you are smart or that you are indeed knowledgeable about the subject matter, you're not going to listen. I once read this somewhere, and it said simply, the moment you stop trying to be understood and you decide to understand is a turning point in your spiritual development. So listening is part of that. In order for you to become an active listener, you have to care. You have to care about what the other person is saying. You have to want to understand what the other person is talking about. And that's just common courtesy. But how about the spiritual aspect of listening? Listening is more than just saying, well, you know what, I'm going to listen to what they have to say and I'm going to wait till they're finished because I know what they're saying is absolute bull. Sometimes that may be the case, but the truth of the matter is, if you really examine it, there's nothing that's absolute bull. Everything that is said in this realm has value. The value you attribute to it is not as important as the value that it holds for yourself. Let me say that again. The value that you attribute to listening or the words that somebody is speaking is not as important as the value that the universe has for you. So listening is key. One of the things about listening that I have mastered over the years. I was forced because as a life coach, I have to listen. If I don't listen, I cannot help my clients. So one of the things that I've mastered over the years is, first of all, just common courtesy. I want respect and I expect people to respect me. So if you foster an environment of respect, then people will respect you. So you do unto others as other you would have others do unto you is a simple code. So if you want to be listened to, then it only makes sense for you to listen to the other person. The second thing that I have mastered is the art of being still and being patient. Patience is a big part of listening. A lot of people don't listen because they're impatient. Again, it goes back to that whole spiel I gave you earlier about they want to be heard, or they have something valuable that they believe they have to say, or they don't believe the other person knows as much as they do, regardless of the reasoning. The act of listening requires patience. If you're an impatient person, then listening is not something you have to practice as much as you have to practice patience. Because once you've mastered the art of being patient, then you're able to listen to the other person or listen to what is being said by anyone. So being patient is number two. The third thing is just being still and knowing that whatever the person has to say, regardless of if you believe that what they're saying is not truth or not, that this will be a teaching moment. It will be a moment where both people benefit, not just one-sided. So listening is not just about you accumulating knowledge or you listening to the other person. It's about a shared experience. It's an experience where you're going to share with the other person, and the other person is going to benefit from you also telling them, what you think about the particular subject matter or issue or whatever it may be. So being patient is key. So the development of patience for me is a big thing because I wasn't always patient. People think that I don't think I still don't think I am as patient as I could be. And hopefully one day I'll evolve to that level of mastery where nothing bothers me. But in the current state that I am, and I believe I am evolved to some stage, mastery of patience is a continuous work in progress. So don't berate yourself, don't beat yourself up because you're impatient right now. Impatience signifies dishevelment or uneasiness with yourself. Impatience suggests that not only are you impatient with others, you're impatient with yourself. So then you have to start with you. You can't start with the other person. You have to start at the core of the problem. And it's always with ourselves. So, for example, I used to be very impatient, and then I had children. And most of you who have had children, maybe you have developed patience, maybe you become more impatient. But the truth of the matter is that children allow you to develop patience. They allow you to continuously work on the aspect of being patient with them as far as emotions go, being patient with them as far as their growth goes. And if you truly love your children, patience is something that is truly developed because you recognize that it's not all about you. And that's how you have to look about conversations, relationships that are not with you and your children, relationships that are with you and another person. If you don't have any children, it is still about thinking about the other person when you're having a conversation or when you're engaging. And understand, everybody's not going to be on the same page. There are people out there who want to talk and they want to be heard. And then there's those people who are very egocentric and they do not give you time to speak. It's just that simple. There's nothing you can do about it. In those moments, you can still practice patience. In those moments, you can still practice being still. In those moments, you can still practice the aspect of learning, developing yourself. Because, like I said, there's something for everyone in every conversation. So being still, learning to be patient, having the ability to understand that it's not about you, having the ability to understand that it's a learning and teaching and a moment of growth for everyone involved in the conversation or the relationship is important. But more importantly, it's about respect. Respecting someone else's opinion and allowing that person to express their opinion helps you to grow. How does it help you to grow? I just mentioned all the ways it does. But just to reiterate, just in case you were missing it, it helps you to grow as a human being. It helps you to grow as a spiritual being. Spirituality is about self-control. It's about mastering the art of self-control. So if you have self-control and self-mastery, you will understand that it's not about you. However, it will benefit you. Thank you for listening and thank you for being patient with me. And that's just a brief overview of what we will be talking about in the rest of these upcoming workshops and seminars. Thank you.